I need today to be like a, oh dude, what if we did today? Like what if we did like a hot seat stream where I just get berated with questions? Mobs, I might need you to berate me with questions at some point. Like Mobs, are you free right now? Boys, we're gonna get ready. This is our training montage. Our training montage begins now. Yo.
What up? What
Yo,
up?
let me get things set up.
Wow. I get to interview Parker.
You
Oh,
gotta
it's
interview
Parker.
me. You gotta ask me
What
all,
up?
all
Oh
the
my
questions
gosh.
you've ever wanted to ask.
First one, Parker. Who do you think you are?
I'm Scuffed Ludwig, dude. That's all I am, dude. Ludwig steals his content from somebody, and then I banded that shit. I fucking yoink it, and it's mine now.
So first and foremost, Mr. Parker, what are your passions? What are your passions?
My passions? I love making people smile, dude. That's why I like streaming. That's why I like entertainment. Like I did YouTube, I did comedy. I always like was a class clown in high school, and I love
yeah?
shit like that. And that was always really exciting.
What kind of class clown were you?
I was like the dumb kid who would like call out in the middle of class, like you know when the teacher like says something and you're like sitting there with a dumb joke. Like I'm the one who would actually interrupt class to say it. I got sent to the principal's office one too many times, and
But you got to give us the story, Parker. What exactly have you done? I want to know this. We want the deets. This is what your chat, I believe. Is that the name of the community, right? They're called chat.
Like my humor is pretty immature. Like I feel like if anything, I can like relate like my humor more to like the Zoomer humor generation.
You mentioned stand up. How long did you give stand up a try before you realized it wasn't for you?
I did stand up for about 3 months. So I did it
3 months.
Like 2 or 3 months. I did it once or twice a week.
So we're talking you went on the nights, how long were your sets? And if like you don't got to give us a specific joke. I think that's way too hard, but like what were the things that you would talk about in general?
So my sets were like 3 minutes long. I would go out, so it was actually like an 8-hour day with like commuting to where I needed to go, waiting in line, waiting my turn. It was an 8-hour day for like a 3-minute set. One of the reasons I don't do it anymore. I think one of my favorite jokes that I did was talking about the time I almost dropped my grandma's urn. Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Oh, and you're gonna leave us on that? You're not gonna tell us this story? What is this?
All right. So one day I was with my mom. So we were going over there to help out one day. I was putting together some table or something, and my new step-grandmother, I guess? Step-grandmother, right? Was like, you know, this really, you know, it upsets me. I feel like your grandmother is watching me. I feel like she's seeing me, and her energy isn't good because I've taken her spot. And I was just sitting there like fucking, I had no clue what's going on. I'm just letting my mom deal with this one. I'm standing out. I haven't dealt with spirits or anything. Like I'm not I'm not paranormal or nothing. I don't fucking know. So I'm letting them tackle that. And my mom's like, yo, we can take it home. Just so you don't have to look at it. And she was like, yeah, I'd really like that. So my mom hands me the urn. So I'm holding the urn, and my step-grandmother just starts going into this rant. She's talking, she's going off. I'm chilling there holding the urn, dude. They got huge cats. They got massive cats. They're fucking running circles around me. They look like duffel bags with legs. They're just fucking going full speed around. I'm sitting there this whole time. She's about like 10 minutes into a rant. Like I'm fucking knees weak, arms are heavy, grandma's in my hands. I'm sweating, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking drop this. Like I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to put grandma down on the table because I love her.
Of course.
Yeah, so I hold grandma. And it's like paying my respects a little later than I should have. Paying my respects. And I'm scared, but you know, at the same time, I'm curious. I've never held an urn. I've never looked in an urn. I don't know what goes on in an urn. So I didn't open it then, but turns out she's in a bag in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, it's just like a bag in the urn with her in it. So it's urn, bag, her.
Is the bag still tight?
Yeah. No, you're not gonna open it up and you don't open it up and get a mouthful of grandma. So that's good at least.
Easy. Hey, at least now we all know that there's at least a bag in an urn, and your grandma is safe.
It's a learning experience.
Safe with you. I know. Hey, mouthful of grandma, says Dan. All right, easy. That's a category. When is a moment in your life where you felt at your smallest? Like when you felt you were not enough for someone or something?
You know, you finish in 30 seconds. That doesn't feel too good.
Was this post No Nut, or is this like, where's the backstory for that? You can't leave everyone hanging with that kind of content.
It was in college. So
30 seconds.
let me explain. I met
Please.
I met this girl in college, okay? It was like my first week of college. You know, I lost my virginity in high school, like one person. Okay, it was fucking terrible. I go to college, meet this girl. It was crazy. It was like the fucking stuff I hadn't experienced ever before. So we're in there. She's got like one of those fucking magnets in her arm or something that like zaps the semen, like an IUD. like
In her arm.
Yeah, they got one of the arm implants. And you know, we'd hooked up before.
Okay.
And we hooked up again. And I wasn't wearing, you know, I didn't have my suit of armor on because it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. You know, you didn't need it, dude. You know, you feel free without your suit of armor. Yeah?
I agree.
So it's been like 2 weeks since we've seen each other. I go in. I wasn't ready. My mental state was weak. It was quick. It was like 30 seconds. I kept going after that as long as I could. And once once the race was finished on both ends, I did sort of the like exhale collapse kind of thing, and I was out of there.
Whoa, time out. You're telling me you still went going, and you finished the job by attrition.
I'm a generous lover, moms. I feel like I got a good like 32 seconds to a minute after, where I can still continue. So that's what I did. The finish line was reached, and then I pretended like I pretended like I hadn't already. Yeah.
You did pretend. Let me ask you this. All right.
See, it felt empowering, dude. How many times have women have faked orgasms? It felt empowering. Mine was for the wrong reason, yes, but I still did it.
Can I? What is your fake orgasm? No. Whoa.
This guy moaned at least this loud.
Whoa.
There's no. It's like, you know, like. It's one of those things where it's like I just kind of like just like big exhale, like act like you're real tired. So all you boys out there who got like a 15-second fuse on that timer, you're moving up in the world. Big claps, dude.
I'm gonna ask you a kind of on the topic of streaming and of trying to make this, you know, if the opportunity does arise to make it a full-time thing, that's great. If not, whatever. But how did you break it to the family that this was something that you wanted to pursue? I think that's something that a lot of, especially streamers that are starting off, have a hard time kind of bringing to the table.
I have a very supportive family, which has been really nice, and they understand that success isn't necessary from a college degree. Success isn't necessarily based on your net worth or whatever. They're very understanding of that. So when I brought it up to them, I dropped out of school because I was miserable. I was like depressed, anxious. It was like my worst mental state ever.
Yeah.
And I talked to them and I was like, you know, I'm not happy with this. I want to see what the world has to offer me. College will always be there for me if I need it, but you know, I'm 20. I was 20 at the time, and I was like, I'm 20. Like, I'm only gonna be 20 once. So I took a leap, went home, did that stand up, did YouTube, and then I found Twitch.
Yeah.
And you know, the whole time, like they've been supportive. They know that, you know, I think they see me putting in the work, and they know that I'm putting in a lot of effort. So that's why they're more supportive than a lot of people would be in my situation.
That's awesome. Legitimately, I think I mean, from my standpoint, A, much older, and B, Asian parents. These are two very big different factors into this game. But I feel that a lot. Parker. I'm happy for you, man. I'm talking to a younger and I would say better looking Devin Nash right now. All you need to do is, you know,
I'm too dumb to be Devin Nash, dude.
So I got another question here from someone in the community. If you got to choose, what else do you want to do outside of Twitch?
So definitely not a restaurant, because I've worked in a couple restaurants through my life. Most of my working career, professional life, whatever you want to call it, has been in restaurants. And number one, if you don't spend, like chef owners in restaurants, they spend 70 hours a week doing that shit. It's a full-time and then another full-time job on top of that. That's what it is.
True.
The stress from it, like every restaurant I've worked in has been in some sort of debt. It's not worth it for me. I would never want to run a restaurant. I'd be like, my backup plan has always been, you know, if I don't go to college, if I don't do Twitch, my backup plan is to go full-time waiting, try and move up the ladder, because I worked at a fine dining restaurant. I feel like I can build off of that and go to higher end restaurants where you make like, you know, you can make a fucking full salary from those places. Like, you work in New York City at a raw bar, you can pull in like $1,500 on a good night. Like, that shit's insane. Either that, bartender, restaurant manager, that kind of thing, because that's from my experiences. I love talking to people. I love working with people. And that's why I loved working in the restaurant. That's why I hated my old job where I worked as a research technician. And I was just alone.
Whoa, I didn't even know about this job. What are you talking about, research technician? For what?
I worked in the soil science lab.
Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, I worked as a soil research assistant on a doctoral project.
To parlay that question, who is Parker outside of the stream, or when the cameras are off and the lights are dim? Like, what do you do? What is your usual life once you're done streaming?
I like to, number one, think that I'm the same on and off stream. Naturally, the energy levels are different. It's always exaggerated to some extent, but I like to feel like I'm the same. Like, you know, I'll make dumb jokes. I think my biggest thing is just making stupid jokes. Like, if we hang out in person, I'll just like, it's fucking low hanging fruit, man. Like, something looks like a dick, I'm gonna point it out, dude. All right, it's real low hanging fruit, dude. I'm gonna tell you what looks like balls, what looks like a cock. I'm gonna tell you that Arby's roast beef sandwich looks like a pussy.
You know what? I don't like to admit that, but I strongly agree. I really do. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? That's heavy.
Yeah. I think if people can look back on the time they spent in my stream and think back on it positively, like, because there's a lot of people in my past who I think back on and, you know, I don't remember them like that well. But if people can look back on my stream and be like, when I should, like I was excited to see him live. Like, I was excited to go in there and talk. You know, I think the legacy that I want to leave behind is that, like, you know, I want to be like a genuine person. Like, I don't want to be, you know, fake. I want to be me on stream, and I want people to, you know, feel welcome, and at the same time just, like, you know, look back on it fondly and not be like, wow, I can't believe I watched this streamer for 4 months. And yeah, I guess that's it, really. Thank you.
No, I mean, I got you. Just to hammer in the point, it's one of those things where if you can create a memory for someone good, inspiring, maybe even something you said off the cuff and you didn't even think that it made an impact, but it's something that they can take with them however long that they remember in their life, I think that's huge as a legacy. That's more than most things that, you know, people want their names on libraries and monuments and all that jazz. But that's kind of how I see this whole streaming thing as. We finish the interview and you step outside the office and you find a lottery ticket that ends up winning $10 million. What would you do with that money?
I would give a solid chunk of it to my parents, because like I said earlier, my parents have been a huge supporter of everything I do. You know, they've been there for me. They supported everything I've done, all of it streaming wise. So, you know, help them pay off the house. I know they don't need the house of this size once, you know, me and my brother are fully out and they want to move somewhere. So, you know, help them downsize, help them find a nice place, you know, like, make them happy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it reminds me of that saying, you know, if Parker eats, everyone eats, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So that's great. And I don't know if Dave has watched it, but it sounds like then the mods will finally be paid on this channel.
I mean, before I pay the mods, dude, I'm buying a Lambo. I'm getting a Lion, dude. I'm fucking doing it all, dude. I'm buying a big old house, and then the mods can have what's left.
Here's one that I don't know if you really touched too much. I know you mentioned a little bit about yourself in the past, but what were you like in high school? What was It's Parker like in high school? Who were you?
I was in high school. I was like not a great student. So like I was the kid who, when he figured out he could skip classes and not get in trouble for it, my friends and I would just like leave school. In a video game, I used to smoke weed, and I feel like I got branded as that for a bit of my high school career. But after a while that stopped, and I was just kind of like, you know, a lot of my friends just like, they skateboarded, they goofed around, but I was very much, I found myself involved with a lot of different like groups throughout different points in my high school.
Yeah. We have something here. we, we have something from Rose. Parker, thoughts on single-use plastics?
Well, let's talk about this. We've already
Yeah,
spoke on it
shoot.
a little bit. Single-use plastics, one of the worst things in the world. Okay. You know that whole hunger thing?
Yeah.
Nothing. That's pebbles compared to single-use plastics.
Here's a weird one. This is one that I found here. Tell me something about your last job other than money that would have inspired you to keep working there.
The biggest thing for me was the connections I made with people. It's like, I fucking hate equating it to this, but it's the only way I can think of it. It's like when you go to war with someone, you come out of there like bonded together because you've been through that bullshit together. You've been through the hardship together. And the bonds I made with my coworkers there were like, I felt in that sense where it was like, we'd been through hell together. We dealt with like the shitty people, the shitty staff. We know what we've all been through. We can all relate to each other. And it's like, I had such a wide range of friends. I had a friend, like one of my coworkers and I would just mess around. He's 35. And we would just fucking make dumb fucking jokes, dude. Stupid fucking Zoomer humor jokes. And he loved it, man. And I loved it too. It's one of those things where it's like, normally in life, he'd be like, who's this little fucking shit kid? But there, it's like, I'd always try and brighten people's day when they're having a bad one. It's one of those things where it's like, you've been through it together. And I think the people there was like, that was it for me.
Well, let's go into that. So what does inspire you as a person, and then also as like a content creator or as a streamer?
As a person, it's the people who've made a positive impact in my life. Like, I think the biggest thing also is streaming. Like, I look at a lot of streamers, and when I see a streamer I like, I feel like at some point you take on some of their mannerisms because you look up to them, stuff like that. And that's a big thing for me is, looking at other creators and people in life who do what I want to do or do what I'm doing better than I'm doing and thinking like, wow, like that would be cool to be like that one day.
Here, so in terms of streamers that you emulate, my man, say you're a mixing bowl then, Mr. Peter Parker. What would you say is in that bowl? What streamers would you say that you feel like you glean styles and trying to meld into who you are?
Like when I see Train.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking Parker.
Like when I see him do his like advice stuff, when he talks about life, I do that to my best ability. Just talk about the experiences that I've had in life, the mistakes I've made, where I've gone wrong, whether it's been like dating life, friend life, anything like that. I try and provide the mistakes I've made and what I've learned from them.
I could see that that little tint, and it's not so much that you're copying verbatim, but it's more of you take or you absorb these ideas and then you meld it into your own style. You make it more, it's Parker-esque. So I don't think that it's just complete copy pasta deal. So I love that. If COVID didn't happen, Parker, would you still be streaming as much as you are now, or would you even be streaming at all, dude?
I did start streaming before COVID.
Okay.
So I would stream whenever I could with work. But I think without COVID, I wouldn't be streaming as much because the reason I went full-time streaming is because I had no other choice. I had nothing else going on. So I think without given the opportunity to go full-time and be kicked out of work, I wouldn't be here right now. And who knows? I may have given up on streaming because it wouldn't have been going well. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, isn't that it's kind of cool how like when, and I don't mean like COVID itself is cool, but it's like when your back is against the wall, or even like crazy things that happen in this world that bring us to where we are today. Because I 100% agree. I would have never done this if life was just what it used to be.
Yeah.
So
I think it without Corona, I'd be in a worse spot. I'd be lost. And I think I found myself on Twitch and I found my purpose.
Parker, if this was our last conversation, not just me and you, but myself and the stream, I'm going to combine myself with the community here. If this was our last conversation, what would you like to tell us?
I think it's in the similar thing of what we've been saying a lot of the stream, is like, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Get hurt. Go out there, get hurt. Go out there, fail. Find what makes you happy in life. Go all in on that. It's not something that's easy to find, man. Finding what makes you happy and brings you joy in life is not an easy thing. If it was easy, everyone would be happy. You need to go out there and experience life, man. You know, like, go fuck up. Go ask a girl out and get rejected. You know, go apply for a job you're not qualified for and get shut down. You know, learn your value and go all in on that shit. And, you know, just fail, man. It's one of the greatest things in life, you know. Being scared of failure is one of those things that's always going to hold you back in life. If you're scared to try anything new and you're scared to put yourself out there and accept that failure, then you're just going to end up, like, holding yourself back. Like, you know, life's all about your experience. You only live one life. And if you're gonna waste it being scared to do stuff, then that's on you, man. If you're gonna, like, sit down and think, if 50-year-old self looked back on you, would they be happy? Would they be like, I lived my life the best life, I made a good experience? You know, it's one of those things. And, you know, it's not easy. You know, a lot of us, we sit inside a lot, and I'm not saying like you have to go out and do all these things, but, you know, find a point in your life to make a mistake, put yourself out there, you know, take it all. Like, you can do all that stuff online too. I don't want to make anyone feel like they're not doing anything with their life or anything, but you know, just, you know, open yourself up to that failure and just know that you're all valuable and that, you know, you can become the best person that you want to be. And it's just, you know, you just got to work on yourself, you know. Don't be scared to invest in yourself.
I love it. I fucking love it, dude. But Parker, thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming.
That's my
dude.
time. Thank you. Go ahead. Do your thing, Mr. Parker. I gotta go take a piss.
I appreciate you, homie.
Peace. Love you.
Love you too.
See you.